Alright, you're just going to need a few basic tools to modify your existing Funcopter Flybar and adapt it so you can install your new carbon fiber zero pitch flybar. You're going to need a caliper so you can make your measurements. You're going to need a Dremel or something to cut off the plastic of your flybar. You're going to need a straight edge, a marker, and also a 5/64 drill bit. Okay, so it's pretty simple. Again, you're going to need a caliper, some kind of Dremel tool or a handsaw, a straight edge, a marker, a 5/64 bit drill bit, and your old flybar. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these end bolts. Okay, so go ahead and remove these end bolts. And before we get started, I really wanted to disclose that I'm using a Corona 120 flybar. My first video that I shot, I used an actual Funcopter flybar, and the video turned out too dark. So here's the original Funcopter flybar. You'll notice the difference is that this ball link is molded versus on the Corona you have a metal ball link. So I only had the one Corona flybar, so I just want to disclose that I'm going to be doing some of the demonstration using a Corona 120 flybar, but they're virtually the same. So what you need to do first is remove your bolts from the both ends of your flybar. Okay, as you see, I removed both bolts from the flybar, so we're left with just the flybar. Okay, what you want to do is you want to take a piece of rod, and we're going to locate the end of the flybar. There's a little hole on the end of the flybar on both sides, and you want to insert this rod, and you want to take a pair of pliers and you just want to push it through. And what you're doing is you're pushing the rod that's going the length of this flybar, and you're going to push it out the other side. Once you get some sticking out, you can go ahead and just grab the other end and pull it through. You're going to want to keep this. Okay, once you do that, you can now remove this little rocker piece. Alright, with that flybar rod removed, you're going to want to get your calipers, and you're going to want to measure 15 millimeters from this edge in. Place a dot. Take your straight edge, and we're going to just mark it. So I'm using this guy as my other part of the straight edge, and I'm just marking it across. You're going to do the same thing on both sides. Alright, once you have both sides marked, you're going to cut along this line here, and so you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this. Okay, so you're going to remove this side, and the same thing on this side, and then you're going to discard these end pieces. After you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to measure again 15 millimeters from this edge, here, and we're going to mark it again using our straight edge. Mark it across. So what we're doing is we're removing all this material. So what you're going to end up with is a piece that looks like this. Okay. Alright, we're going to take that rod that was removed from the flybar. We're going to measure 105 millimeters. Then we're going to mark it at 105 millimeters. Then we're going to cut this off, and we're going to keep the 105 millimeter bar. Okay. Alright, you should have a piece that looks like this. I'm switching back to the original Funcopter flybar after it's been cut. Mine is already pre-drilled because I went through the first video that was too dark, so obviously yours is not going to be drilled already. You're going to have to do the drilling yourself, and that's the part we're going to do right now. So what we're going to do is you're going to take your Funcopter Flybar, you're going to insert it into your carbon fiber one. You're going to use this inside piece as your guide. Insert it in, and so we're using this edge here and also this edge here. You're going to take your marker and you're just going to put a little dot on all the holes, so you're transferring that mark. So your mark will be transferred. Then you're going to take your 5/64 bit and you're going to drill it out. Okay? Once all your holes are drilled out, you're going to want to take your round included hardware. It's a round top, and it's easier if you just pre-thread it right now. And so you just go thread it through. You're going to do the same thing to all the holes. That'll make the assembly a little easier. Okay, so go ahead and tap these holes with the included hardware. We're going to start the assembly process, so you're going to put the 4 round head screws here, and here's my first one. I usually just go ahead and go all the way through, drop my washer, and then the nut, grab a pair of pliers. Actually I have a little socket here, and I just lock it in. Okay, now you want to make them all just loose until you get them all in, because you're going to have to do some aligning, make sure that they're all lined up and that you're all nice and straight along the edges here. Okay, so go ahead and put your screws in. Okay, once you have all your hardware in place, you want to make sure that you have cinched it down so that this plastic piece is flush against your carbon fiber piece. So you cinch it down and make sure that everything is nice and flush. Okay, you're going to have a little bit of gap where it meets the round button. Okay, and that's not really a concern. So you just want to make sure that they're along this part here, it's nice and flush. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take that rod that we cut to 105 millimeters, and we're going to start it on this end. We're going to take the rocker piece and we'll reinstall it. Okay. Line it up, and we're going to push it through. Now when you push it through, you're going to have to go through a few locations. Alright, so it will go through. You just have to make sure that everything is nice and lined up. Okay, I have it all the way pushed through. What you want to do is you want to take that rod and you want to just push it a little past flush. Okay, and kind of balance it out on both sides. Okay, and what you're going to do is once you have it balanced out on both sides, you're going to drop a little bit of CA on the end so that that fly bar is not, that middle rod is not going to slide through anymore. So once you get it positioned to your satisfaction, you're going to want to drop a little bit of CA in the hole, and that way that middle rod won't slide through. So you should be at this point right here. Okay, the last step. We're going to take the hardware and we're going to go ahead and insert it in. Okay. And attach the nut on the back. And we're going to do that all the way across. Now the trick is to get, once you get these nuts on, is you have the flat part of the nut. When you put the next nut on, you want to align all the flat parts, okay, and that way they will all fit. Okay, we're doing the last bolt install onto this fly bar. Again, you want to make sure all the nuts are aligned, the flat parts touching all the nuts, so that they will interlock together. It is a tight fit. So there you have it. Here's the back side, and here's the top side. So now all you have to do is reinstall this onto your Funcopter and start flying. Now the benefits of this modification: it's zero pitch. I know that Multiplex has come out with their zero pitch flybar. This is a lot stiffer than the V2 flybar that Multiplex had just put out, and this is also adjustable. So before we get to the adjustment part, just wanted to let you know that because of this zero pitch and the stiffness of this flybar, you're going to get a lot faster cyclic response. So just be prepared for that. And then after you are proficient with flying this flybar, you can also start removing some of these nuts. All right, what these nuts were doing is it was acting as this weight here. So what you can do is you can remove one or two of these, the same position on both sides, and that will give you an even faster cyclic response than just having all the weights in. But just a heads up, you will also lose some stability when you do that. So hope you enjoy the modification, and again, this will increase your cyclic response, and also in fast forward flight you will have zero bobbing, and it'll allow you to fly in higher wind. Okay, so I've flown my Funcopter in 8-mile-an-hour wind with no bobbing at all, and it's just cutting through the air. Hope you enjoy the modification.